Hello, it's Emma Etheridge, the Wedding Biz Coach, and welcome back to Weekly Wedding Biz Tips, where you get hints and tips to help you to build a wonderfully successful wedding business. And in today's video, I want to share with you a way that you can get super efficient in your wedding business by introducing workflows for tasks that you do every single day or every single month in your business. Now, we're going to cover what a workflow is, why bother with them, what one looks like, how you can set them up in your wedding business, and what the real benefit of them are. I also have a free download for you to help you along the way. Now, make sure you like this video if you watch it and you enjoy it. Also, make sure you comment below if you have absolutely any questions, and of course make sure you subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on any future videos. So let's get stuck in. So let's talk workflows. So we know what it is like in business. Unless you're doing something consistently every single day, you can easily forget how to do it. We forget the simple tasks, and this then means that this action that we're trying to get achieved can kind of get over exaggerated and over complicated, and it stays on the to-do list for way too long, and we start to put that task off because we go, oh, I'm not quite sure what the next thing is that I need to do. And this often happens in business because we are so busy. We're trying to spin a million different plates at any one time, and having some workflows in place in your wedding business will really help you to be super efficient. Now, what is a workflow? A workflow is simply a set of tasks that you follow through every time you do the thing that you're looking to do, so that you don't forget what you're doing and so that you don't procrastinate over it. Let me give you an example. Let's say you want to write a blog post. There are certain steps that you follow. You don't just magically have a blog. You have to follow the steps to get to that point. And this is essentially what the workflow is. It's the individual tasks that you need to do, the individual actions that you need to take that are going to achieve that project for you. So you can start to see how doing these workflows really help you with some of the regular tasks that you do in your business, but also some of the irregular tasks that you do as well. Let's say there's something that you do on a monthly basis. Because you're not doing it every single day, it's easy to forget how you need to do it. It's easy to forget where you need to go for various different things. Let's say you're just doing a new website or something like that, and you want to update some of the images on your website, but you haven't done that for a long time. It's easy to forget, right, which bit of the website do I need to go into to do that? And this is what a workflow can help you to do. And I'm gonna walk you through how you can set them up in your wedding business without adding another to-do list on the list, which is no doubt very long at the moment. So why bother with workflows? Well, I've got 5 reasons as to why I think that they are so fantastic. Number 1, it keeps you super efficient and it keeps you on task. How many times when you are working on something do you wonder when it comes to working on the task that you have in hand at that moment? Now, if you have a list of actions that you need to follow, staying focused is so much easier because you really are focusing on the thing that you are working on, and you can tick down it. You can say, yeah, I've done that, yeah, I've done that, yeah, I've done that, right, what's next? Tip number 2 is it helps you to save time. Now, I'm going to talk you through how you can create some workflows in your business, and you will find that what this helps you to do is it helps you to see where you can actually save time in the stuff that you are doing. So let's say, for example, you have overcomplicated a process, and this happens. As entrepreneurs, we often think things are a lot more complicated than they actually are. I am absolutely very guilty of that, and simplicity is something that I am really drawing and holding on to so closely in my business this year, because you don't want to overcomplicate things. And when you write down all of the tasks that you do to get an action done, you can start to say, I don't think I really need to do that bit, or, well, those two are basically the same thing. Why am I overthinking it? So by setting out these workflows, it helps you to save time. Number 3 is you will get through your to-do list a lot quicker and you will stop procrastinating. You know, there's no other thing that I need to say on that. For me, that is a total winner as to why workflows are so fantastic. Number 4, it makes you deliver a great bride experience because you can create workflows for the bridal order process that you take your brides on, and you can set them up individually for every single bride, so at any one point you know exactly where you are in that workflow. This is super impressive to your bride, but also it makes you feel really, really organized, and that is a fantastic thing. And that brings me up to number 5, you feel organized. How many times in your business do you sit there and go, oh, I'm not sure where I am with all of these individual projects or these individual bridal orders? If you keep on top of the workflows that you set up, ticking off as you go, then you can pick up and you can put down a project really easily without feeling that you're going to have to spend the first half an hour of working back on that project remembering where you finished last time. So those are just some reasons as to why workflows are so fantastic. So what does a workflow actually look like? Well, a workflow can be as simple as you want it to be or as complicated and as detailed as you want it to be. And it really does depend on the kind of person that you are and how much prompting you need. So let's take a look at a very simple workflow, and I'm going to use the example of a blog post that I referred to at the start. So you're sitting down to write a blog post, and if you have a very simple workflow of it, it might be number 1, decide the topic. Number 2, write the blog. Number 3, choose the images for the blog post. Number 4, post the blog. Number 5, promote the blog. Now, this one doesn't really give you too much information about what you have to do on each of those tasks. Well, it doesn't. It gives you 5 simple actions that you need to take. It doesn't really drive down into what actually needs to do in the individual steps. And this is one of the reasons that I see that wedding business owners and just business owners generally don't achieve the goals that they want to have set themselves, because they will have things on there such as, do a new website. That is a humongous task just on its own. You need to break it down into individual actions. And it's because of those little individual actions you get closer to the goal. So with the writing of this blog post, if you need prompting as to, right, well, how do I decide on the topic of the blog post? And yeah, okay, fair enough, I need to write the blog post. Well, what are the individual steps that I need to take to do that? So you want to think about whether you want detailed workflows or whether you want really simple workflows. By breaking the action down into smaller tasks, you actually get them done. Now, this is one of the biggest grumbles I hear from wedding business owners I work with, is that they never seem to get their stuff done. They never seem to tick things off the to-do list unless it becomes urgent. And oftentimes the reason is because we haven't broken down what those individual tasks are that need to actually happen to tick off that goal, that task, that action, whatever it is that they're trying to achieve. Now, to help you, I have got a free download which you can download by clicking on to the link above or going over to the website that is just on the screen at the moment. And this walks you through a detailed breakdown of a workflow of writing a blog post. And I want to just talk about a couple of the different sections here so that you can really see what I mean when I talk about a detailed workflow. So in that previous example, there was 5 really kind of generic stages that you went through with the blog post, but this is breaking it down even more. So step number 1 is drafting. So you want to outline the blog post, what it's going to include, then draft the blog post, then edit, review the blog post before publication, sign off the content of the blog post, take any images needed, create any graphics that needed for inside of the blog, create images for the blog post cover page, create graphics to share posts on social media. Then we move on to step 2, and this is about the posting. So put blog posts together with words and images, upload to website, maximise for SEO, link to relevant pages on your website, products and services, link to any other blog posts that are relevant within the post, check and schedule or publish. Now, those are just two of the steps. You can get all of the other steps over in the blog workflow that you can download just by clicking that link. But what I'm trying to demonstrate here is that these are detailed workflows where if you were coming to sit down to write a blog post, you could literally have this printed out in front of you and you could go, right, I'm drafting the blog post now, right, that's done, tick in the box, right, what do I need to do next? Right, I need to sort out the images, tick, right, what do I need to do next? Right, I need to sort out the title of it, tick. And you can work through it and you know exactly where you are. So if you have to walk away from writing that blog post, you can come back and go, right, where was I at? Okay, right, I've got to this stage now, this is what I need to do next. And I'm just using a blog post as an example here because it's something that I know, this is an actual real life workflow that I personally use in my business, that I use with my clients, and it's something that I know that people struggle with. So that's why I've used a blog post as a really good example there. But you could do these workflows for absolutely anything in your wedding business. A fantastic way of doing workflows is with your bridal orders, with anything that you do. Let's say, making updates to your website. If it's quite new to you and you're not quite sure where to go, you can create a workflow that shows you where you need to click, what you need to do next. So it almost becomes a bit of a checklist for you. And this makes your job so much easier when you're trying to get these things done. Now, the blog post workflow that I've just talked about and that you can download below as well is far more in depth than the original one that I talked to. And yes, it may make you want to go and run and hide, but until you break down those big actions into smaller individual tasks, they will just never get done because they feel too vague. Now, the purpose of the detailed blog post workflow is that you can have this with you next time you come to write a blog post and you can work through it, ticking off as you go. This is how you get stuff done, and this is the same across your entire business. Now, I use workflows throughout my business and for all of the projects I work with on one-to-one with any clients or any design work that I'm doing. Now, I use a system for my workflows called Trello. I also use one called Asana as well to keep me on task. I'm going to talk about those in a second as well. So how can you set up workflows in your business? Well, the first step really is to think about the regular tasks that you do in your business, whether these are daily, weekly, monthly, or perhaps quarterly. Think of what regular tasks that you do. Now, examples of this might be newsletter. It might be writing a blog. It might be doing your accounts. It might be doing website updates. It might be the testimonial process that you take your brides and grooms on after you've worked with them. It may well be the entire workflow that you take your brides through when you're working on orders for them. The second step is to decide which of those workflows is going to make the biggest impact to you right now. Is there something that you always get stuck with, or something that you always feel takes you a lot longer than you anticipate it to do? Then choose that one first. Then what you want to do is take that task and write down all of the things that you have to do to complete it from start to finish. Now, if you don't want to do this as an extra thing on your to-do list, just simply next time you work on that thing that you want to do, whether it's writing your newsletter or doing your blog post or doing those website updates, keep a notepad next to you, and every single thing that you do, make a note of the step that you are taking so that you're physically working through the thing that you're doing, but you're also creating this workflow for it at the same time. And you might think, well, what is the point if I'm already working on it and I'm kind of then creating another workflow for it? If you find that the workflow is going to make it quicker and easier for you next time, it is so totally worth it. Honestly, workflows are a fantastic way of making you more efficient in your business. So just work through that task. Then once you've done that and you've got this big long list of actions, what you can do is move away from it for a bit, then come back to it and look at all of those actions and think, right, okay, where am I complicating this? Where could I save myself a little bit of time? Am I creating, let's say for example for a blog post, if you're creating various different images for the various different places you want to put your blog post, are you doing those all totally individually? You're coming out of the design software you use, whether it's Canva or, whatever you're using to create your images, or could you batch them all together and do them all at the same time so that you have them all there in one place, and you're kind of saving yourself some steps later on in the process. So take a look at all of those actions and think about where you can actually save yourself some time. The next thing you need to do is just to simply set up your workflow for that task. Now you can do this a couple of different ways. Just a simple Word document would work. So you create yourself a little table that has the task and then it has a little tick box next to it. You can print that out, you can have it, a stash of them printed, and next time you come to work on that thing, you can just take one off the pile, and you can just start to tick down and start to work through it. Then once it's completed, you can either save it for future if you want, get rid of it, and then you've got a clean one for next time. Or you could put those individual actions into your project management system. Now, if you just freaked out about me saying project management system, please don't panic. It sounds very formal and very technical, but you really do need to have something in place in your wedding business to make you a really effective and efficient business owner. Now, I personally use two systems both together. I use Trello and I use Asana. And I'm going to be doing a video for you next week on how you can transfer this workflow into both Trello and both Asana. So please don't worry, just come back to the channel next week and there will be a video for you. If you're watching this after this has been published, then it's probably already sitting on my YouTube channel, so go and have a look at that. And I'll walk you through how you can create these workflows in Trello and Asana, which makes it really user-friendly for you. So your action there really is to just decide, right, how am I going to work best? If working on a hard copy document works really well for you, just do that until you get into the rhythm of it and create the workflow initially for the thing that is causing you the biggest headache, or the thing that's going to make the biggest impact to everything that you're trying to do. So to sum up this session, really, what is the real benefit to doing the workflows? Well, the reason we're doing all of this is so that you can become super efficient in your wedding business, so that you can spend more time attracting the brides that you want to work with and get those bookings. Having workflows set up will also stop you procrastinating through the to-do list, and will stop you thinking, I made that mistake last time and I keep doing it again, and not knowing what you need to do next time. So if you want something to work off to help you just to figure out, right, how can this blog workflow thing or any workflow thing work, then I have a free download for you. It's the actual real life blog workflow that I use in my own business, and I've put it into a nice pretty document for you so you can print it off and just use that as a bit of an example just to see how you could do it. And you can download that in the link below, in the show notes below of this YouTube video. So I really hope that was helpful. I would love to hear whether you do put any workflows in place in your business and what difference you feel they make for you. If you want any more training on this thing, then please do let me know. But make sure you come back to the channel next week, or make sure you subscribe so that you get this one coming into your inbox. So I'm going to do you two videos, one showing you how to move a workflow into Asana and one how to use Trello for your workflows as well. So I hope you like this. Make sure you give it a thumbs up if you did, and also comment below if you have any questions, and of course make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out on any future videos, and I shall see you next week.